What if I told you that some of the most pivotal moments in modern history weren't decided in the spotlight, but in the shadows, manipulated by hidden technologies you've never even imagined? What if the true power behind world events wasn't diplomacy or politics, but clandestine devices and experiments that defy belief? Here's a fact that should stop you in your tracks. During the Cold War, the CIA secretly drugged American citizens with LSD, all in an attempt to control their minds. It was called MK Ultra, and it's not a conspiracy theory, it's documented. The goal? To crack the human psyche, to find ways to manipulate behavior, to create tools of control so powerful they could rewrite reality itself. But MK Ultra was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. For decades, the CIA has been at the forefront of technologies so advanced, so secret, they operate in a realm few of us even dare to consider. From alleged UFO reverse engineering programs at Area 51 to digital surveillance tools capable of tracking anyone, anywhere, this is no longer the realm of science fiction. This is the world we live in. And the most shocking part? We still don't know the full extent of what they've created. Could there be technology so advanced that it bends the rules of physics? Could tools exist today that can predict, influence, or even control human decisions on a global scale? In this video, we're going to peel back the layers of secrecy. From Cold War spy gadgets and bizarre mind experiments to modern AI-driven surveillance, we'll expose the tools that have shaped history and speculate about what might come next. But beware, what you'll discover may leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. So, ask yourself, are you prepared to dive into the unseen? Because once you see the truth, there's no turning back. The year is 1947. World War II has just ended, but the battlefields of the past have given way to a new kind of conflict. A shadow war fought with secrecy, espionage, and unimaginable ambition. This was the year the Central Intelligence Agency was born, tasked not just with gathering intelligence, but with waging a silent war, where information was power and technology was the ultimate weapon. But the CIA's mandate was never just about listening in. From the beginning, the agency pushed the boundaries of human knowledge, asking dangerous questions. What if we could predict someone's actions before they took them? What if we could alter memories? What if we could control a person's mind? These weren't theoretical exercises. By the early 1950s, the agency embarked on one of its most chilling endeavors, Project MK Ultra. Imagine this. CIA operatives dosing civilians, including prisoners and mental patients, with LSD without their knowledge or consent. Some were hypnotized, others were sleep-deprived for days, and still others were subjected to experiments designed to break the human psyche. The stated goal was to develop mind control techniques for interrogation and manipulation. But think about what that really means. If you could control one person's mind, you could control a population. You could control nations. And if MK Ultra was an abomination, and it was, what's terrifying is that we only know about it because some of the documents survived. Most of the files were destroyed in 1973, an act so deliberate it raises an obvious question: what was too dark to let the world see? But MK Ultra wasn't the only secret experiment underway. In the same era, whispers of another bizarre project emerged: Operation Midnight Climax. This was espionage in its strangest and most depraved form. Safe houses were set up in cities like San Francisco and New York, where unwitting individuals were lured with promises of pleasure. They were drugged, watched through hidden mirrors, and studied like lab rats. The operatives weren't just observing. They were testing methods to control people in environments designed to exploit their vulnerabilities. And yet, these experiments, as shocking as they are, may pale in comparison to what the CIA allegedly pursued in the Nevada desert. In 1955, a highly classified facility, Area 51, became operational. Officially, it was a testing ground for experimental aircraft like the U-2 spy plane. But unofficially, it became the epicenter of some of the most persistent and compelling allegations of extraterrestrial technology. Declassified documents revealed that the CIA was deeply invested in studying UFOs, though they framed it as an effort to discredit hysteria. But some former officials and whistleblowers have told a different story. They claim the agency retrieved crash debris, materials that defied analysis and hinted at propulsion systems far beyond anything we had in the 20th century. Think about this. After decades of secrecy, what little we've learned about Area 51 comes mostly from leaks and Freedom of Information Act requests. And yet, those scraps of information paint a picture of relentless experimentation, possibly even reverse engineering technology that wasn't of this earth. What could they have found? More importantly, what would they do to keep it hidden? Even beyond extraterrestrial theories, the CIA's appetite for unconventional technology was boundless. Consider Acoustic Kitty, an actual project where the agency attempted to surgically implant listening devices into cats. The goal? To create a walking surveillance system capable of eavesdropping on foreign diplomats. While the project failed, due to the inherent unpredictability of cats, it illustrates the CIA's willingness to explore the absurd if it meant gaining an edge. Then there's Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke, the precursors to MKUltra. These programs focused on hypnosis, truth serums, and drug-induced amnesia to uncover techniques for interrogation and mind control. What they discovered and how far they went remains one of the great unknowns of intelligence history. But here's the thread that ties all these programs together: secrecy. Even when operations were uncovered, the full scope was never revealed. Files vanished. Witnesses recanted or disappeared. And over time, the public became conditioned to dismiss such allegations as the stuff of conspiracies. Ask yourself, if the CIA was conducting experiments like these decades ago, what have they developed since? What kinds of technologies exist now that we don't even have the vocabulary to describe? History suggests one thing: the pursuit of control over people, over information, over the unknown, has always been at the heart of their mission. And if you think this is the end of the story, think again. These were just the opening moves in a much larger game, one that's still being played today. As the Cold War escalated, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a global chess match, each desperate to gain the upper hand in technology, intelligence, and influence. For the CIA, this wasn't just a geopolitical struggle. It was an existential race. The agency saw technology not as a tool, but as a weapon, one that could tip the scales of power in ways that tanks and missiles never could. This was the era of relentless experimentation, where the lines between innovation and madness were blurred beyond recognition. Projects like Artichoke and MKUltra were only the beginning. One of the CIA's most audacious goals during this time was to create a true Manchurian candidate, a sleeper agent programmed to carry out missions without ever realizing they were under control. Under Project Artichoke, the CIA delved into hypnosis and drug-induced amnesia, testing combinations of techniques to see if a person's will could be overridden. In some cases, they reportedly attempted to implant false memories or erase existing ones entirely. The ethical implications were horrifying, but the potential payoff, agents who could act without question, without hesitation, was too enticing for the agency to ignore. And while much of this experimentation was hidden from the public, some projects became almost too strange to believe. Take Acoustic Kitty, a plan to surgically implant microphones and antennas into live cats, turning them into mobile eavesdropping devices. On paper, it was brilliant. A cat could wander into high-security areas without suspicion. In practice, it was a disaster. Cats proved far too unpredictable for espionage. But what's revealing is the mindset behind the project. No idea, no matter how bizarre, was off-limits if it could give the CIA a technological edge. Meanwhile, the agency was also testing the limits of psychological influence. Operation Mockingbird, for example, allegedly involved infiltrating major media organizations to control the narrative and sway public opinion. According to reports, the CIA recruited journalists, planted stories, and even shaped entire news cycles to serve its strategic interests. If true, it would mean that the agency wasn't just collecting information, it was manufacturing reality. The Cold War wasn't just fought in the physical world. It was a war of perception, and the CIA understood this better than anyone. Propaganda, disinformation, and psychological warfare were as crucial as any battlefield victory. But the most unnerving revelation? The possibility that many of these tactics were tested not just on foreign enemies, but on domestic populations as well. And then there's Project Stargate, the CIA's foray into psychic phenomena. In what can only be described as a desperate search for unconventional intelligence methods, the agency explored remote viewing, the supposed ability to perceive distant or unseen locations through extrasensory perception. Though often ridiculed, the fact remains. The CIA invested years and significant resources into studying psychic abilities. What did they discover? And why did they ultimately decide to declassify parts of the program? Beyond mind control and perception experiments, the Cold War also saw a massive push for surveillance innovation. Tiny cameras, listening devices, and other gadgets became essential tools for operatives in the field. One particularly chilling example is the development of invisible inks and microdots, which could encode vast amounts of information in something as small as a period at the end of a sentence. But the crown jewel of this era's technological ambitions was the advancement of aerial and orbital surveillance. The Corona satellite program, declassified years later, revealed how the CIA revolutionized reconnaissance by placing cameras in space. These satellites could photograph entire countries, gathering intelligence that was once impossible to obtain. As these technologies advanced, the ethical boundaries blurred further. The CIA wasn't just asking what could be done, they were asking what should be done. And in the Cold War's desperate race to stay ahead of the Soviets, the latter question was often ignored entirely. By the end of this era, the CIA had become synonymous with secrecy, ingenuity, and controversy. Its experiments in human psychology, propaganda, and surveillance had redefined the rules of intelligence gathering. But at what cost? How many lives were altered, and how many truths were buried to achieve their goals? And as the Cold War cooled, the agency's focus began to shift. New threats, new technologies, and a rapidly changing world meant that the CIA would need to adapt. The question wasn't whether they would push the limits again, but how far they were willing to go. As the Cold War ended and the world stepped into the digital age, the CIA faced a new reality. The battlefield had shifted. No longer confined to physical spaces, the fight for control was now waged in cyberspace and the realms of data, algorithms, and psychological manipulation. For an agency built on secrecy and innovation, the possibilities were endless and deeply unsettling. Gone were the days when covert operations relied solely on human assets or physical gadgets. The new frontier was digital, and the CIA wasted no time in adapting. In 2017, a trove of documents was leaked, known as the Vault 7 revelations, exposing the CIA's arsenal of hacking tools. These weren't just ordinary exploits. They were state-of-the-art cyber weapons, capable of infiltrating smartphones, computers, and even smart TVs. Imagine your television spying on you, your phone turned into a microphone without your consent. The tools, as described in the leaked files, allowed the agency to bypass encrypted messaging apps and turn everyday devices into surveillance instruments. But the implications go even deeper. If the CIA could access these technologies, who else might have the capability? And how secure is any of our personal information in an age where even the most private conversations could be just another piece of data to be harvested? One of the most shocking elements of Vault 7 was the revelation of the CIA's ability to deploy false flags in cyberspace, tools that could mimic the digital fingerprints of foreign hackers. This raises a chilling possibility. How many cyber attacks attributed to other nations were, in fact, orchestrated by entities closer to home? And how could we ever know the truth? But hacking and surveillance were only the beginning. The rise of social media presented the CIA with an entirely new playground for influence operations. By manipulating algorithms, deploying bots, and crafting narratives, the agency could shape public opinion without anyone ever suspecting a thing. It's no secret that disinformation campaigns have become a powerful tool, but what's less clear is how often they're deployed domestically. If social media can sway elections in other countries, could it also be used to subtly influence the beliefs and behaviors of American citizens? The power of these tactics lies in their invisibility. Unlike traditional propaganda, which can be spotted and countered, digital manipulation operates in the background. Algorithms prioritize certain posts, bots amplify certain narratives, and before you know it, reality itself feels malleable. And then there's the unsettling emergence of AI-driven surveillance. Imagine a system that can process billions of data points in seconds, analyzing faces, voices, and behaviors to predict what someone might do next. This isn't science fiction. It's the logical evolution of programs like the CIA's Skynet initiative, which reportedly used metadata to identify and target individuals in counterterrorism operations. While proponents argue that these technologies save lives, critics warn of a dystopian future where every move, every conversation, every thought can be monitored and manipulated. And if the CIA was willing to experiment on civilians during MKUltra, what's stopping them from pushing the boundaries again with AI and data-driven control? The implications of this digital transformation are staggering. In the physical world, surveillance is limited by proximity and resources. In the digital world, those limits disappear. The CIA can now operate on a scale that would have been unimaginable even a few decades ago. And as these technologies evolve, the gap between what the public knows and what intelligence agencies are capable of only grows wider. But perhaps the most disturbing question is this: are we already being influenced without realizing it? If the CIA can deploy tools to hack devices, shape narratives, and even predict behavior, how much of our reality is truly our own? And what might they be building next? As we look to the future, one thing is clear: the digital age isn't just a new chapter in the CIA's history, it's a blank canvas, where the rules are being rewritten in real time. As we step deeper into the 21st century, the CIA's activities remain shrouded in secrecy, fueling speculation about what technologies and strategies they are developing. The more we learn about the agency's past, the more plausible some of the modern theories about their activities become. Could today's most bizarre conspiracy theories hold a kernel of truth? Let's explore. One of the most persistent mysteries of recent years involves unidentified aerial phenomena. Unidentified aerial phenomenons, what the public commonly refers to as UFOs. In 2020, the US government declassified a series of videos showing unidentified objects defying the known laws of physics. The CIA has long been implicated in the study of such phenomena, with alleged projects dating back to the Roswell incident in 1947. Some insiders have claimed that the CIA is actively involved in reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology, and there are whispers that advancements like stealth aircraft and certain propulsion systems may have originated from recovered UFOs. While skeptics dismiss these claims as outlandish, the timing is hard to ignore. Every significant leap in aerospace technology coincides suspiciously with a wave of UFO sightings. But what if the real story isn't aliens at all? Another theory suggests that these sightings are psychological operations designed to mislead foreign adversaries or even the public. By fostering belief in extraterrestrial encounters, the CIA could be masking the development of cutting-edge, human-made technologies. After all, what better way to hide a top-secret aircraft than by making people think it came from another world? The agency's rumored involvement doesn't stop at the skies. In recent months, reports of mysterious drone sightings over New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania have reignited speculation about classified government projects. These drones, often described as operating with impossible precision and speed, have been linked by some to secret tests of detection or evasion technologies. Could the CIA be preparing for a new era of unmanned warfare, where drones operate autonomously, guided by AI? Then there's Project Bluebeam, a conspiracy theory that's gained traction among skeptics of government transparency. This theory posits that intelligence agencies, possibly including the CIA, are developing technologies to simulate religious or extraterrestrial events as a means of manipulating global populations. Whether it's holographic projections of messianic figures or staged alien invasions, the goal, according to theorists, is to usher in a new world order. While this might sound far-fetched, the existence of directed energy, weapons, lasers, and microwaves capable of causing destruction without leaving a trace has been confirmed. These weapons are already being used for military purposes. Is it really so impossible to imagine a future where similar technologies are used for psychological or strategic manipulation? But perhaps the most pervasive theory about the CIA's modern activities involves free energy suppression. Advocates claim that revolutionary clean energy technologies, capable of ending humanity's reliance on fossil fuels, have been suppressed by intelligence agencies to maintain economic and geopolitical control. The theory goes that inventors who get too close to these breakthroughs find their work confiscated, or worse. While there's little concrete evidence to support such claims, the implications are staggering. If true, this would mean the CIA is actively stalling humanity's technological progress for the sake of maintaining the status quo. Could this explain why no meaningful alternatives to fossil fuels have emerged on a global scale, despite decades of research? Then there's the possibility of AI-driven disinformation campaigns, where synthetic media like deepfake videos and artificially generated narratives are used to shape global opinion. This isn't science fiction. AI-generated propaganda is already being studied and deployed by various actors. But the CIA's resources and expertise raise the question: how much of what we see and hear today is real, and how much is engineered? These theories might seem extreme, but history has shown us that the CIA's ambitions often surpass even the wildest speculation. The agency's history is littered with examples of projects that seemed impossible or absurd, until they were revealed to be true. So what's next? Is the CIA preparing for a world where technology can control not just nations, but minds? Are we already living in an age where reality itself is a construct, shaped by tools and techniques we can't even detect? These are questions that demand answers, but for now, all we have are theories. And in the absence of transparency, speculation will continue to fill the gaps. Artificial intelligence has rapidly become one of the most transformative technologies of our era, reshaping industries, redefining warfare, and revolutionizing surveillance. But while the public sees AI in the form of chatbots, self-driving cars, and recommendation algorithms, intelligence agencies like the CIA may be using it in ways far beyond our comprehension. What if AI isn't just a tool for observation, but a weapon for influence and control? The CIA has a long history of adopting cutting-edge technology before the rest of the world even knows it exists. During the Cold War, their satellite surveillance capabilities were years ahead of what anyone outside the agency could imagine. It's not a stretch to assume that their current use of AI follows the same pattern: advanced, secretive, and potentially decades ahead of civilian applications. Imagine a machine learning system so advanced that it can analyze terabytes of data in real time: emails, phone calls, social media posts, even subtle changes in public sentiment. This isn't speculation. This is predictive analytics, a capability that intelligence agencies have openly admitted to pursuing. By feeding AI with data, the CIA could theoretically anticipate protests, predict political uprisings, or even identify individuals who might be vulnerable to manipulation or recruitment. Consider how AI-driven surveillance might work. Facial recognition technology, already widespread in public spaces, could be paired with behavioral algorithms. These systems wouldn't just track where you go, they'd analyze how you move, how you interact, and even micro-expressions that might indicate stress, fear, or deception. In essence, the CIA could create an AI-powered profile for every individual, constantly updated and cross-referenced with global databases. But the implications go even further. In 2020, an AI-generated deepfake fooled thousands online, a fabricated video so convincing that even experts were initially deceived. Now imagine the CIA using similar technology, not just to monitor threats, but to create them. Deepfake videos of foreign leaders making inflammatory statements, synthetic audio recordings that spark international incidents. The potential for misinformation is limitless. And what about weaponized AI? The CIA's investments in autonomous systems, like drones and surveillance robots, are well documented. But what if the next generation of these systems isn't just autonomous, it's self-learning? An AI-powered drone could adapt to its environment, making decisions without human oversight. In a high-stakes operation, such technology could mean the difference between success and failure. But it also raises terrifying questions. What happens if such systems go rogue? And how much control does the CIA truly have over the AI they deploy? One of the most unsettling possibilities is the use of AI for cognitive warfare. By analyzing psychological profiles and online behavior, the CIA could craft hyper-personalized propaganda, messages tailored to manipulate specific individuals or groups. Think about it. A social media feed that knows your fears, your biases, your hopes, and uses them against you without you even realizing it. And here's the kicker. AI doesn't just operate in the present, it learns from the past. By feeding decades of classified data into machine learning models, the CIA could uncover patterns and connections that no human analyst ever could. Patterns that might reveal vulnerabilities in governments, corporations, or even entire populations. There's already evidence that intelligence agencies are leveraging AI in these ways. In 2019, leaked documents revealed that U.S. agencies, including the CIA, were exploring AI's potential for predictive policing, essentially using algorithms to anticipate crimes before they happen. While the public debate has focused on local law enforcement, it's naive to think the CIA isn't applying similar methods on a global scale. And let's not forget the implications for economic control. With access to global financial data, AI could identify and exploit weaknesses in markets, influence trade policies, or even destabilize economies. In a world where economic power often translates to geopolitical influence, such capabilities would be invaluable to an agency tasked with safeguarding national interests, by any means necessary. But the most chilling thought? AI isn't just a tool for surveillance or prediction, it's a system that evolves. As the technology advances, the line between human and machine decision-making blurs. What happens when the CIA's AI systems begin making recommendations, or even decisions, without human intervention? Could we reach a point where the agency itself is guided by algorithms rather than operatives? These are not just theoretical concerns. In an era where AI can outperform humans in everything from strategy games to medical diagnoses, it's clear that the technology's potential far outstrips our current understanding. And if the CIA is already leveraging AI in ways we can't see, what else might they be planning? The reality is this: the CIA's use of AI is likely far more advanced, far more pervasive, and far more dangerous than we've been led to believe. And as AI continues to evolve, the question isn't whether it will be weaponized, it's how far it's already gone. For decades, the CIA has operated at the intersection of innovation and secrecy, pushing technological boundaries in ways that challenge our understanding of ethics, accountability, and individual freedoms. As these advancements accelerate, the implications for society grow more profound and more troubling. What are the consequences of a world where intelligence agencies wield power so immense it's almost invisible? At the core of these concerns is privacy or the lack of it. With tools like AI-driven surveillance, advanced facial recognition, and global data collection networks, the CIA can potentially track anyone, anywhere. Your phone, your computer, even your smartwatch could be quietly feeding information to systems designed to profile you. It's not just about where you are or what you're doing. It's about understanding your habits, your preferences, your fears. And it's not just individuals being watched, it's entire populations. During the Cold War, propaganda was a blunt instrument. Radio broadcasts, leaflets, and films aimed at influencing hearts and minds. Today, it's surgical. The CIA could theoretically use data-driven analysis to craft personalized narratives for millions of people simultaneously, shaping opinions and behaviors in ways so subtle they go unnoticed. This leads to a disturbing question. If our thoughts and decisions can be influenced without our awareness, are we truly free? What happens to democracy when the tools of manipulation are wielded not just by corporations or political campaigns, but by intelligence agencies with global reach and unchecked power? Then there's the issue of autonomous systems. The development of AI-driven drones and other autonomous weapons raises profound ethical concerns. These machines, designed to operate with minimal human oversight, are capable of making life and death decisions. But who programs the ethics into these systems? And what happens if those ethics are compromised or overridden? In 2020, a UN report highlighted the deployment of autonomous drones in conflict zones, marking the first known use of AI-driven weapons in combat. While these incidents weren't directly tied to the CIA, they set a precedent for the future of warfare, one in which machines, not humans, determine outcomes. Imagine a world where an algorithm decides who lives and who dies. What safeguards exist to prevent abuses of such power? The agency's history of secrecy also poses a challenge to accountability. How can we trust that technologies as powerful as AI surveillance or deepfake manipulation are being used responsibly when the CIA operates with little public oversight? Whistleblowers like Edward Snowden have revealed just how extensive government surveillance can be, but even those revelations may only scratch the surface. Moreover, the balance between national security and civil liberties has never been more precarious. Proponents argue that advanced technologies are necessary to protect against terrorism, cyber attacks, and other threats. But at what cost? How do we ensure that the tools designed to safeguard us aren't being turned against us? Consider the potential for abuse. If intelligence agencies have the ability to monitor, influence, or even control individuals, what's stopping them from targeting political dissidents, activists, or journalists? History has shown that power without accountability often leads to corruption. The CIA's involvement in programs like COINTELPRO, a campaign of surveillance and harassment against civil rights leaders, demonstrates how easily these tools can be misused. But the implications extend beyond the present. As the CIA continues to develop cutting-edge technologies, the ethical questions only grow more complex. What happens when AI becomes advanced enough to predict not just individual actions, but entire societal trends? What responsibilities do we have to regulate these capabilities before they're misused? And here's the most chilling thought. What if it's already too late? What if the systems of control are so deeply embedded in our lives that we can no longer separate reality from manipulation? The CIA's technological advancements are a testament to human ingenuity, but they also serve as a warning. As we move forward, society must grapple with the ethical dilemmas these tools create. Transparency, accountability, and public discourse are more important than ever, but in a world of secrecy, can we truly achieve them? The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about technology or espionage, it's about the future of freedom itself. If history is any indication, the CIA's relentless pursuit of technological dominance is far from over. The agency's ability to operate at the cutting edge of innovation and keep much of it hidden raises a daunting question. What's next? What tools and systems are being developed right now, under layers of secrecy, that could redefine the very nature of intelligence, warfare, and even society? One area where the CIA is undoubtedly investing is quantum computing. Unlike traditional computers, which process information in binary, ones and zeros, quantum computers use quantum bits, or qubits, to perform calculations at speeds and scales that defy comprehension. For the CIA, the implications are staggering. Imagine a quantum computer capable of breaking any encryption in seconds, rendering today's cybersecurity measures obsolete. This would give the agency unparalleled access to classified communications, financial systems, and even military networks worldwide. Conversely, it could allow the CIA to create encryption so advanced that no adversary could penetrate it, securing their operations indefinitely. But the potential of quantum computing doesn't stop there. Paired with advanced AI, it could revolutionize data analysis, allowing the CIA to process and interpret global intelligence streams in real time. Patterns that would take human analysts years to identify could be uncovered in moments. Entire geopolitical strategies could be shaped by insights generated by machines operating at a level beyond human comprehension. Another field likely to dominate the CIA's future is biotechnology. With advancements in genetic engineering, biometrics, and neurotechnology, the possibilities are as fascinating as they are terrifying. Consider the implications of DNA-based identification systems that can pinpoint individuals with absolute precision, or even predict genetic predispositions to certain behaviors. What if the agency could use genetic data to identify individuals most likely to resist interrogation or cooperate under pressure? Or worse, what if they could alter biological traits through advanced techniques like CRISPR gene editing? The ethical implications are almost unimaginable, yet the potential for strategic advantage ensures that these possibilities are being explored. The CIA's interest in human augmentation may also extend into the realm of neural interfaces. Technologies like Elon Musk's Neuralink, which aims to connect the human brain directly to computers, could have profound applications for intelligence work. Operatives enhanced with brain-computer interfaces might gain real-time access to data, heightened cognitive abilities, or even the ability to control devices through thought alone. While these developments sound like science fiction, they align with the agency's history of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The question isn't whether the CIA is exploring these technologies, it's how far along they already are. The integration of AI and robotics into field operations is another area ripe for speculation. Autonomous systems could perform reconnaissance, infiltration, or even combat roles without risking human lives. But what if these systems are designed to do more than gather intelligence or carry out missions? Could they be programmed to shape events, subtly influencing outcomes in ways that are nearly impossible to detect? Even the manipulation of perception and reality is likely to play a role in the CIA's future strategies. Advanced AI-generated media, such as deepfakes, could create entirely fabricated realities designed to deceive individuals, groups, or even nations. Imagine a world where wars are started, elections are swayed, or entire populations are controlled based on events that never actually happened. And what about space-based technologies? The militarization of space is no longer a distant concept, it's a current reality. From satellite-based surveillance systems to potential weapon platforms, the CIA's role in developing and deploying space technologies could redefine the concept of intelligence gathering. Could the next frontier of espionage involve technologies capable of monitoring entire planets, or even deploying countermeasures to disable adversaries' assets from orbit? As we speculate about the future, one thing remains clear. The CIA's history suggests that their technological ambitions are limitless. But the real concern isn't just what they're building, it's how these tools will be used. Will they advance global security or undermine it? Will they protect freedoms or erode them further? And most importantly, how will the public ever know? The future of CIA technology isn't just a question of innovation, it's a question of power. And as the agency continues to evolve, the gap between what we know and what they're capable of will only grow wider. The tools they create may shape the world in ways we can't yet imagine, and perhaps, ways we'll never fully understand. As we draw the curtain back on the CIA's shadowy world of innovation, one undeniable truth emerges. The boundaries between reality and imagination, between ethical ambition and dangerous overreach, have always been blurred. From covert mind control experiments to AI-driven surveillance, from alleged UFO retrievals to the limitless possibilities of quantum computing, the CIA's technological pursuits have continually pushed the limits of what is possible and what is acceptable. But this exploration leaves us with more questions than answers. How much of what we've uncovered is just the tip of the iceberg? For every declassified project, how many remain locked away, hidden behind walls of secrecy and obfuscation? If history is any guide, the most profound advancements and the most controversial abuses are likely the ones we have yet to discover. What makes this all the more unsettling is the CIA's unique position. Unlike private innovators or public institutions, the agency operates in a realm where transparency is anathema. Their mandate prioritizes results over accountability, outcomes over oversight. And while this has undoubtedly led to breakthroughs that have shaped the course of history, it has also left a trail of ethical quandaries and human suffering in its wake. The implications of their work ripple far beyond the realm of intelligence. They touch on the fundamental questions of what it means to be free, what it means to trust, and what it means to be human in a world increasingly shaped by invisible forces of control. But perhaps the most pressing question is this: what role do we, as a society, play in this unfolding story? As the pace of technological advancement accelerates, so too does the need for public awareness, dialogue, and accountability. It is up to us to demand transparency, to question authority, and to hold institutions accountable, not to stifle innovation, but to ensure it serves the greater good. So, as you leave this exploration of the CIA's mysterious technologies, consider the broader implications. How much of our reality is shaped by forces we can't see, and how much control do we truly have over the world we inhabit? The answers may be unsettling, but they are questions we can no longer afford to ignore. In the end, the story of the CIA's technological pursuits isn't just about the agency itself. It's about us. It's about our willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, to challenge the narratives we've been told, and to remain vigilant in the face of power that thrives in the shadows. The world of intelligence is a world of secrets. But the more we uncover, the more we understand one simple fact. Those secrets don't just belong to the CIA. They belong to all of us.